We have some very exciting, thank you so much. That was a great song. I felt that bass right in my chest here. It is truly my honor to introduce Congressman Brad Sherman, who is here this evening to make a very special presentation to Beit Teshuvah. Brad has served in Congress for 3 decades and now represents California's famously sprawling 32nd congressional district, home to so many of us here tonight. It stretches from Malibu through the Pacific Palisades to Brentwood and Bel Air, across Encino and Tarzana, all the way to Agora, and then up to Northridge and beyond. That's a huge district. It is a district defined by extraordinary diversity and complexity. I could easily spend the next several minutes at least, highlighting Brad's distinguished record in Congress, his leadership on foreign affairs, his work on economic policy, and his steadfast advocacy for Israel. But tonight I want to focus on the work that speaks most directly to the mission of Beit Teshuvah and to the lives of the people we serve every single day. Congressman Sherman has been a tireless and effective champion of strong consumer protection laws, recognizing that addiction is often compounded by financial vulnerability and exploitation. And he has also been a consistent, unwavering advocate for federal funding for addiction recovery and treatment. At a time when economic pressures have intensified and when addiction-related trauma and death have reached heartbreaking levels, Brad understands that delay is not an option. He understands that behind every statistic is a human being, a family in crisis, and a precious life that holds promise. Through dedicated and persistent advocacy, he has secured millions of dollars in federal support for Beit Teshuvah, resources that have allowed us not just to expand programs, but to reach people at the moment they are ready and to walk with them towards healing and dignity, to a life of purpose and recovery. On behalf of everyone whose life has been touched by this work, we are deeply grateful to Brad Sherman. He is not only a partner in this work, he is a true friend of Beit Teshuvah, and tonight he has some very exciting news to share. Please join me in welcoming our Congressman and a steadfast ally in recovery, Brad Sherman.
Hello, I'm Brad Sherman from America's best named city, Sherman Oaks. And I represent the San Fernando Valley and much of the West Side. It is great to be back in Los Angeles, where people get along and work to make things better. Tomorrow, I fly back to the dysfunctional epicenter of a still great nation, where I am the loudest and longest voice for the U.S.-Israel alliance, serving as the chief Democrat on the House Subcommittee on the Middle East and the chief Democrat on the Congress-Knesset Parliamentary Friendship Group. With me today is Scott Abrams of our Constituent Service Office. I want to put in a pitch for his work. Imagine a federal agency made a mistake. It could happen. Could affect you. That happens. You call Scott. He works very hard. He solves your problem, and then I, Brad Sherman, take the credit. It's an outstanding system. Now, as I was walking up here, so many of you said, well, Sherman, since they're giving you the microphone, why don't you spend 90 minutes talking about everything that's going on in Washington, D.C.? And that is exactly what I'm going to do. On February 11th, when we have our next telephone town hall, you can dial in and register at bradsherman.house.gov. Now, Janice has been my friend for 40 years, and she never stops talking to me about Beit Teshuvah. I first learned of Beit Teshuvah, and I want to remember my friend Sam DeLug, who was so active in this organization as well. Now, Washington is mostly dysfunctional these days, but now and then you can get something done. And nothing is more complex and more fraught with situations where you could just lose the whole thing than trying to get funding for something in your community. For the first time ever, I've been able to get $1 million for the Jewish Federation to deal with security issues at Jewish institutions around Los Angeles. But when it comes to the community, my number one focus has been Beit Teshuvah. Janice wouldn't have it any other way. And so, let me show the, you know, couple and a half, 2.5 years ago, I was able to get $301,000. Janice said that was nice. Then a year ago, I got $963,000. Janice was happy. And then she said, "But what have you done for us lately?" 6 days ago, signed into law, is a bill that includes $1,039,000 for Beit Teshuvah. For a month or two, Janice will say that's enough.
A week or two.
A week or two. So, Keith, Zach, I'd like to give you this check.